Good evening, everybody. This is Dale Calvert. I'd like to welcome you to Thursday night's No Fluff training webinar. We do these every Thursday night, and I appreciate you guys being with us tonight. We're going to talk about how to become a master recruiter. I know we have a lot of first-time people here tonight. I had a couple of leaders from uh, Mark Holmes. I think Mark's out in Maryland, said he was going to invite his team. I had another lady down in Mississippi. She was going to invite her team. So if you're the first time with us tonight, I appreciate you being with us. We do these every Thursday evening. And again, I thank you for being here. The first thing you should always ask yourself, in my opinion, when you're on a webinar, conference call, training event, always ask yourself, who is this person and why should I spend my time listening to them, whether it's on a webinar or anything? I really, really believe that's an important question to ask. I do want to welcome all the new Network Marketing Training Club members. A lot of you, this will be your first ever webinar. I appreciate you guys. I thank you for being with us tonight. Real quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. My background is simply this. I got involved in the industry when I was 20 years old. I knew that I didn't have a clue what I was doing. My sponsor had so much confidence in me that he quit 2 weeks after I joined. I didn't even know who my upline was. The first 3 years in this industry was the most frustrating thing that I've ever done in my life. In 3 years into it, it came together for me like all boom. I got it. And I understood that personality is not duplicatable, only systems are duplicatable, and a lot of other things I'm not going to get into tonight. But the bottom line is it took me longer to make $100,000 a year in network marketing than anybody I have ever personally met. I've been in the industry over 30 years. My ninth year, I was able to leave my job after 5 years. I was able to go full time. My ninth year, I made like 92,000. My 10th year, 252,000. My 11th year jumped to 1.1 million. My 13th year, 3.3 million. And it all happened by design. I know exactly how it happened. I know how we built what we built and how we developed teams. And network marketing is about leadership development. It's about developing teams of people. Now, you can learn more about me than you'd ever want to know at mlmhelp.com. There's actually a DVD there that you can access to online. It's called The Power of a Dream, and it'll tell you the whole story. Um, in 2000, we sold all of our interest in our network marketing organization to pursue other businesses. But when that happened, a lot of people started asking me to come and speak at various events, and network marketing support service was kind of born, even though it was never an intention. It just kind of happened. I've had the privilege over the last several years to work with some of the greatest people I've ever met in the industry. Awesome people, one-on-one, as well as from a private coaching standpoint. And you can see, way back, David Ledoux was my first ever private coaching client. And in 2002, I think, I can't remember, but David was voted the Network Marketer of the Year. He's since retired. Just a lot of really good people that I've been able to work with personally and then on my teams as well. We developed an organization of over 200 six-figure earners. This year, the top males in network marketing, both number 10 and number 38, were Tim Miller and Barry Donaldson. Both gave our Confessions of a Network Marketing Millionaire. They've given us glowing testimonies on that. This is awesome Courtney Looper. She was voted the number 3 female in network marketing in 2015, and this is just a testimony she gave on Amazon about our profit CD, which is only available on Amazon. And I just show you this, guys, just to say I've been doing this a long time, and I just think it's important. If you're going to talk the talk, then you better walk the walk. So again, I want to welcome my first time Thursday night no fluff attendees. This is probably going to be a little bit different than most generic training programs that you've ever attended. And the reason is simply I don't have a dog in the hunt. And what I mean by that, I don't have a network marketing company that I'm trying to back you into down the road or like that at all. I'm not promoting building teams anymore. I've retired from doing that. Again, I'm involved in other business models. But in July of this year, we've been operating network marketing support services for the last 15, 20 years and had the opportunity to travel literally all over the world, speak to groups of people from coast to coast. But it was never an intention to really build out network marketing support services really until this year. It sincerely is a labor of love. I love the network marketing industry. It changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. It gave me the opportunity to implement personal development into a business model that allowed me to move forward in life and with unlimited upside potential. And what the industry that I joined and a lot of the nonsense that I see going on today is very disturbing to me. So I've always believed if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. And again, I'm not going to get into the entire story, but we started doing these Thursday night webinars 2 or 3 months ago, and the response has been remarkable. And again, I appreciate you guys more than you know. I don't intend to step on anybody's toes tonight. That's not my intention, but I probably will because I don't pull punches. I don't worry about who might get offended. I just share what I know in my heart and soul to be true based upon not what I think, but based upon wisdom of what I call wisdom of the ages principles that I was fortunate to learn early in my career. When you're finished tonight, you're going to be exposed to 7 recruiting concepts that I believe every career-minded network marketer should internalize, memorize, and make part of who they are as a marketer. I'm just not sharing tips tonight, guys. I'm sharing concepts that if you internalize and get them from your mind to your heart, they're going to make a tremendous difference in your recruiting in the network marketing industry. I don't believe in tips and concepts and ideas, and I don't believe in that. I believe in solid principles that should be internalized and acted upon. That's what I believe. So I've added something tonight. I just got to take a minute to kind of get this off my chest, and I'm probably going to do this every week just for my own sanity, honestly. And I'm going to call this Dale's 1 minute vent. I wrote an article about this at momhelp.com, and it was like every time I went onto a social media account, it doesn't matter what it is, you got somebody talking about how to become an authority in whatever niche. And really, most niches, it doesn't really concern me that much, but network marketing, it does. Because I believe this industry has to return to its roots of personal development, personal growth with a compensation plan attached. It's so much more than just getting them in. You have to keep them in and move them forward down the road. That's the name of the game. It's not just about getting them in. It's about building teams. So it was like every time and I don't get on social media much because it just drives me crazy. Uh, and honestly, if my children and my grandchildren weren't on there, then I don't. I mean, it's just it, it it's just unbelievable to me, honestly. And I kept reading all this stuff about how to become an authority in network marketing, and uh, I wrote this article, and it says I've gone from this is me talking. I've gone from fascination to disturb at all the self-proclaimed gurus are teaching marketers in multiple niches how, and I quote, build a powerful brand, boost influence, and gain authority status. If you want to gain authority status, then do something, build something. This whole notion, especially as it relates to network marketing, of doing business with those you know, like, and trust, I never have understood. It's about who can help you get down the road. Whether you like their haircut or not should not be an issue. It's who can help you move down the road. Who has done what you want to do? Who's done it? Not who's talking about it. And I'm going to keep going, guys, but I want to make this one point because some of you, this will probably be very valuable for you. I hope it will be. In my opinion, and again, I've talked about this on different webinars and events I've talked about it for years and years. But around the late 90s, as an industry, and Lynn Clements, which many of you probably heard, wrote about this article 20 years ago. 20 years ago, he wrote this article, and it was called The Land of 10,000 Unrecruited Heavy Hitters. And we've got it at mlmhelp.com, or let's see, it's topmlmtrainingarticles.com. This article's in that. Topmlmtrainingarticles.com. And what he was saying, and this again, guys, this is 20 years ago, that the industry had shifted from developing leaders within our own teams to recruiting each other. Okay. I believe when Lynn wrote that article, I remember when he came out with it, I thought, how true is this? And he gave example after example of this company explodes while this company decreases, and this company explodes while this company decreases. And it's an awesome article because it's true. And this, again, it was 20 years ago. I look at the industry today, it's 10 times more valid. The article that he wrote 20 years ago, it's 10 times more valid today than it is when he wrote it. Now, here's my belief. I said all that to say this. If you entered the industry in the last 10, 15, 20 years, and the focus of the industry, of the profession, of the people within the industry has been to recruit each other, if that has been the focus, which I believe it has been, and I believe anybody that's been around as long as I have and was truthful will tell you the same thing. That's really been the focus. It's not been about going into the marketplace and finding mom and pops that are sick and tired of being sick and tired and giving them an opportunity to change their life in 3 to 5 years. It hasn't been that. It's been, let's recruit each other. If that is true, then becoming someone that has a brand and influence and authority status within the network marketing industry could be an issue, would be an issue, maybe even a priority for some people. But because if you know that in 2 years or 2 months or 6 months you're going to be doing another deal anyway, then, and if that's the pattern, you go from this deal to that deal to the next 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 deal, then, and you want to bring as many people along the path with you as you can each time, then you can, acting like something you're not might be of value. But I don't think it provides any long-term financial benefits for people. And I think the worst thing a new person can do is to come into the industry and try to act like they're now a home business consultant because they got signed up with a network marketing company. Now, let me keep going. I could really go down that road, but I'm not going to. 7 recruiting principles, concepts, and mindsets. These will make a difference for you guys. Now, I haven't been able to do this yet, but I will. Those of you that are on the webinar tonight, I will hopefully send out a replay link. And even if I don't, what I'm going to do is the slides that I have, I'm going to upload them so you can print my slides. I'm going to give those to you. So because I don't want you to try to take too many notes tonight, because I want you to really think about the concepts, and then you can go back and look at the slides. I'll make those available to all you guys that are with us tonight. The first concept, as it relates to recruiting, and this is the concept you have to get from your head to your heart, because when I say this, you're going to understand intellectually this is 100% true. But getting that from your mind to your heart is a different issue. It's a different concern. I heard this for several years before I was able to get it from my head to my heart, because I didn't understand how important it was to get it from my head to my heart. I heard it, I agreed with it, but I continued to do what I was always doing and thinking the way I was always thinking. Until that shift happened, I could not benefit from what I'm getting ready to share with you. And the bottom line is this: wherever you are right now, in whatever company you're in, for you to go from where you are right now to where you want to go, there's X number of people that you're going to have to expose to your company and to your product. That's the formula. That's the way it is. X number of people exposed equals whatever you are ultimately trying to accomplish within this business model. X number of people exposed equal you achieving what you want to achieve. Granted, as your skill sets get better, as your mindsets get stronger, that number will decrease. But if you never got any better, you never got any more skilled than you are right now. We got hundreds of people with us tonight. I don't know who is the most least likely to succeed network marketer listening to me tonight. I don't know who you are. You're out there. I don't know who you are, but whoever you are, whoever's listening to me tonight that is the most least likely to succeed, the truth for you is you have X number of people that you're going to have to expose to your product and your opportunity for you to reach the goals that you have when you enter the industry, when you enter your company. All of us have a number. That's the concept. You have a number. I don't know what your number is. You don't know what your number is, but law of averages, common sense, reality tells us you have a number. And let's say your number is 913. And after you have let 913 people hear the entire story about your company, your product, and your opportunity, 913, and it might be 9,012, it might be 93. I don't know what your number is. You don't know what your number is, but we both know you have a number. So let's say 913. After you've exposed 913 people, you're going to be a double diamond or whatever you're working towards in your company. 913. If that was the way what if your company contacted you tomorrow and they said, you know what, we've changed our whole comp plan around. As soon as you can verify that you have sent 913 people who have heard the whole story, and whether that's on a webinar, or wherever it is, online video presentation, conference call. But as soon as you've confirmed that 913 people that you have sent have heard the whole story, and that's the key, guys, they got to hear the whole story. But as soon as you've done 913, we're automatically going to pay you $10,000 a month residual income for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if they join, don't join. It doesn't matter if they buy or don't buy. All that matters is that 913 people have heard the whole story, and you were responsible for helping them hear the whole story. And as soon as that happens, we're going to pay you $10,000 a month residual for the rest of your life. My question to you guys is, how fast could you do it? How fast could you get 913 people to hear the whole story if that was the way the comp plan worked? And some of you, how many of you would even listen to the rest of this webinar if that's the way it was? Now, that's the mindset that you have to have that will benefit you greatly when you go into the marketplace. You have a number. It may be 913. We don't know what it is, but we both know the sooner, the faster, the quicker you hit your number, the faster you're going to get where you want to go. And there's, it's not, I mean, don't play around with it. Get it over with. Hit your number and let's, go on and why wait around? Why take the slow path? It's a numbers game. It's the most important concept in recruiting that I can share with you. And once you really get that in your heart, then you don't care if somebody, it doesn't matter. It's just one less number. Say, well, I don't think that's going to work. Well, that blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Next. I just got through another number. And once you get that, and see, that that's the way it is. But once you get it from your head to your heart, then you can row, and you don't have the stress of trying to convince somebody to join something when they're going to be more trouble than they're worth if they do join. Number 2, learn to stop talking so much. I made this mistake. Everybody makes this mistake. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we could listen twice as much as we talk. If you're talking, you're selling. People don't want to be sold. The less you say, the more money you make. Let the tools do the talking for you. Let the online presentations, the conference calls, the webinars, the DVD, CD, whatever you're using, let that do the talking for you. You're just want to get through the people. You're in the exposure business. You're not in the convincing business. And if you're talking, you're trying to convince people, stop doing it. Let people make their own decisions. From a recruiting standpoint, you're looking for the right people at the right time in their life, period. That's who you're looking for. And if it's not right now, it doesn't mean it won't be right later. But you don't make money twisting people's arm to get them involved in your program, because they're not going to do a dang thing once they join. Learn to listen. Recruiting is a process. It's not an event. Those of you that are on with us every Thursday, you have a play 1, play 2. That's recruiting. Play 1, play 2. Play 1 normally creates curiosity. Play 2, they get to hear the whole story. After they hear the whole story, and only after they hear the whole story, do they even count as somebody that you've exposed. If that's really the goal, guys. The goal is to help people hear the whole story. That's what you want to do. And then let the chips fall where they may, because there's enough people out there that are looking for opportunity that if you get your opportunity in front of enough people, you're going to find the people where the window's open, the timing's right in their life. And you just don't sweat it, guys. Don't sweat it. It's not worth it. Every recruiting activity leads towards a weekly event or an online presentation. Okay, a weekly event would be a live webinar like this that your company does that covers your product or service and your opportunity. A lot of companies do these every week. So everything that you're doing during the week from a recruiting standpoint is to see how your goal is how many people can I get to hear the whole story this week. This week. Now some companies again have online presentations that people can view at any time. Same concept. Same concept. Number 3, why it's more skeptical. Why the more skeptical the person is, the better prospect they are. If somebody gets all fired up and excited and joins immediately, and you guys have been around a long time, you've seen this happen over and over and over. The more excited they are in the beginning, the more likelihood they're going to go out and somebody's going to say, boo, boo, and they're done. The more fired up they get in the very beginning, the less likely they are to move forward and build a team. I don't understand it. I just know that's the way it is. If somebody is skeptical, I love skeptical people, because if they get sold on the concept and what you're doing and the company and your product or service, then if they sell themselves first and they go from skepticism to they're sold, then they're going to hang in there and they're going to move forward, and they aren't going to make a bunch of emotional decisions. Human beings for the most part make decisions based upon emotion and then justify those decisions based upon facts. That's the way we kind of operate. Here's a very key question, guys. When somebody has maybe responded to a lead generation method that you have in the marketplace, and they contact you, and you're wanting to get them from lead to hearing the whole story, from play 1 to play 2. And I apologize, guys, I'm a little bit dry and I'm drinking. You probably hear me drinking water in your ear. I apologize. But anyway, somebody calls you and they say, yeah, I found this card, or I got this postcard in the mail, or whatever it is. I saw your ad on online classified or whatever, and I'd like to learn more about what you're doing. Your goal is to get them to the next step, to hear the whole story. And some people are very skeptical, and some people are just negative. And sometimes your competition will call you just to see what you're doing. A very important question that's okay to ask is, I would say, Joe, listen, you kind of sound really negative. Are you negative, or are you just skeptical? I've asked that question hundreds of times when I was building teams. Joe, you kind of sound a little bit negative. Are you negative, or are you just skeptical? And it makes them stop and think about it, because people that are negative, really, most of them don't want to be negative. They would rather just be coming across as skeptical. And skeptical is good. So some people, they only want to recruit people that see the opportunity immediately, get all fired up, and can't wait to get started. And that's the people they recruit, because it takes a little bit of work sometimes to get through skepticism. If a person is downright negative, you are not required to communicate with them. See, it took me a while to understand this. I thought I had to communicate with everybody, and I thought I had to give everybody the opportunity to hear the whole story. And many times I was talking to people on the phone or through whatever means, and reality is I knew, like you have many times, if you've been around for a while, I knew I didn't want this person on my team. And for a long time, guys, for a couple of years, I felt obligated that I have to try to let them hear the whole story. And then I realized at some point, if this is not worth it. So what I want to tell you tonight, it's okay to say, Joe, you know what? Based upon our conversation up to this point, I really don't think you're a good fit for our program, but I appreciate you responding to our advertisement. You have a good evening, and hang up the phone. Guys, that's liberating. It protects your energy. It protects your attitude. It's okay. So you might not have ever heard that before because I never heard it. But I am not obligated. You're not obligated to pursue and try to convince somebody that's going to be more trouble than they're worth if they do join you. You don't want those people. You're developing your team. And let me say something else. Your team is a direct reflection or lack thereof of your personal leadership. When you find somebody that's skeptical, provide them a third party tool. If somebody says, I've had friends that have been involved in these things and they're all excited in the beginning and then 90 days are out and they're back to their normal life and I just don't think it's for me. And that's a common response today. You know, if you're trying to get outside of the network marketing industry, which we kind of talked about earlier, because and say, and if somebody were to tell me that, I say, look, I get it. I totally understand. Uh, and I would say, look, I'm going to get a CD in the mail. Have you heard of Robert Kiyosaki, New York Times bestselling author, Rich Dad Poor Dad? Yeah, I've heard of him. Okay, could you give me your address? Because I want to drop a CD in the mail to you. I want you to listen to Robert Kiyosaki. I understand the experience you've had with your friends. I get it. But will you listen to this CD? And then if what you hear makes sense, awesome. We can go the next step. If it doesn't make sense, then we'll still be friends. How does that sound? And I'll get a CD in the mail. That's what I would do if they're skeptical. As long that, and those of you that aren't familiar with this CD, you can find it probably on Amazon, eBay, wherever. For me, it's awesome. It's called The Perfect Business. There's also an online video of this. At least there used to be on YouTube. You can look on YouTube and you could send them the direct YouTube link. You don't even need the CD. I like CDs because I like a lot of people listen to CDs in their automobile when they're on their way to a job that they really don't like, and a CD a lot of times provides more of an uninterrupted focus from people. So again, CD online, you could do both. You could say, hey, I'm going to send you the video online, but I want to send you the CD as well. You could do that. Let's ask you a quick question. Would it be beneficial to you and your business to decide to not waste time and energy with negative people? I believe that the sooner you come to that conclusion, the easier recruiting becomes. I think that's a major obstacle mentally for a lot of people because they think they have to and they don't. It's okay to say, you know what, this is not somebody I would want on my team. And don't let them drain your energy. Just keep on going. And if you're creating enough leads on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and by the way, lead generation is the easiest part of this business, I promise you. And if you're creating enough leads on a weekly, monthly basis, then you can be more selective. You can get to a level of selectivity that you should be to maximize your recruiting. Number 4, the magic phrase that will identify real prospects from the time wasters and the tire kickers. The phrase I'm getting ready to share with you has helped me recruit more people than anything that I can share with you tonight as far as a communication terminology standpoint. The first time that I ever said this, it came out of my mouth out of frustration because I had this business owner. She seemed to be extremely interested in what we were doing. And again, guys, this was years ago. At that time, everything was done at live opportunity meetings, overviews. and she was going to be there. She didn't show up. The next week, I'm definitely going to be there. She didn't show up. Uh, the third week, she was going to be there, and I called her, and we're communicating, and she ended up joining, but after she did eventually come, but and they were uh, valid reasons that she couldn't make it. But I thought she was just yanking my chain, honestly. And the third time I followed up after she missed the third meeting, just my just came out of my mouth, and I've used it. I used it since then. There's people now that are using this phrase. uh, a lot of people use this phrase. We taught it on our original Confessions of a Network Marketing Millionaire program, and it's, are you still interested in evaluating our program, or can I go ahead and scratch you off my list? Scratch you off my list. Now, here's the reality. If they say, well, just go ahead and scratch me, they were never going to get to your play two to begin with. Whether that your play two, and again, guys, I hope you understand. I know a lot of you understand the terminology I'm talking about. If you're brand new, I apologize. But play two, again, is hearing the whole story. Create curiosity, let them hear the whole story. If if somebody says, yeah, I'm going to be on the webinar, and you say, I want you to be on this webinar, and then call me as soon as it's over with, and they don't call, and then you follow up, no, wasn't able to get on it. Okay, at this point, one time they weren't able to get on it. They weren't able, they didn't, something came up. The next question always is, listen, Joe, are you still interested in evaluating our program, or can I just go ahead and scratch you off my list for now? And if they say scratch me off off your list, they were never going to get to your play two to begin with. It will save you a lot of time, energy, effort, and frustration. See, people get so burnt out with recruiting because they think they have to have everybody. They think they have to give everybody. You don't. You really don't. There's more. You'll never run out of people to talk to. I promise you. You never run out of people to talk to. Again, generating leads is the easiest part of this business. It really, honestly is. And if you get this foundations right, then when you start generating a lot of leads, then you will be as productive with those leads as you possibly can be. Number 5, building a network team has nothing to do with closing prospects. I would love to just, I'm going to start doing these red flag warnings on every webinar. Again, guys, I'm still working my way through these because, again, I'm dealing with, every week we have a lot of people on here from a lot of different companies at different levels. We have people on here that are making 6 figures a month. We have people on our webinars that are just getting started. So it's kind of a challenge from that standpoint. But every now and then there's some things that you really, really, they may go against the grain, but they're very, very important. This is the red flag tonight. Building a network marketing team has nothing to do with closing prospects. The last thing that you want to do is to close them, and that's a sales term, obviously, into joining your team, because it's not just about getting them in. If your focus is the fast start bonus that you're going to make, your focus is in the wrong place. Let me say that again. If your focus is on the fast start bonus that you're going to make if they join, your focus is in the wrong place. Network marketing is about long-term residual income. There's no residual income that will ever be seen when you close somebody into the business and then they never do anything after they join because you close them. It's just the wrong mentality on many, many different levels. Why attempting to close prospects is foolish and a technique that is never taught by those that really understand recruiting. Now, I'm going to share with you the one sentence close, and I hate to even use that word, close, but the one sentence that you ask, and it will work every time, every single time. Did I say that they will join every time? No, I said it will work every time. And there's a difference because, again, guys, it's about building teams. It's about working with the right people. This is network marketing is a very frustrating business when you're talking to the wrong prospects and you're trying to convince the wrong people to join. Here's the one sentence close. And again, I don't like using that word that works for real team builders every time. Now, when do you ask it? You ask it immediately, as soon as possible, after they've had the time to hear, after they've heard the entire story. So if your play two is a weekly corporate webinar that happens on Tuesday nights, then every person that you're supposed to have on that webinar Tuesday night, I would ask them, as soon as the webinar is over, I want you to call me. Okay, so if you have 7, 8 people that are supposed to be on the webinar, you'll probably get a couple of calls. And yeah, you asked me to call you after the webinar was over. And again, if you only have one person, you're just getting started, and you only have one person, then just three-way them into the webinar. That's the safest way to do it. And again, this is a whole nother training, guys. I'm trying to stay on task here tonight. Here's the question. They call you after the webinar, or you're three-way them in and it's all over. And the question is, I'd say, hey, Joe, what questions do I need to get answered for you before we get you started tonight? Or if it was a midday webinar, you could say today, okay? But that's the only question. Hey, Joe, what questions do I need to get answered for you before we get you started tonight? That's it. And some people say, well, I really don't think I have any. I think I'm ready to go. Some people say, well, I really don't think I have any questions, but I don't think this is for me. Some people say, okay, I don't care what the answer is. I honestly don't. You shouldn't either, because all that's happened. See, you've already won. If you can get a person to this point, you've already won. Because now, instead of 918 or whatever we were talking about earlier, you just went to 917. See, that's the real game, guys. The right people are going to join you. You don't want the wrong people to join you. Now, I wasn't planning on getting into this tonight. I talk about this in many other trainings. Honestly, when we were building and our team was growing, all of our leaders, when we got a person to this point, we were hoping, and I'm going to share this tonight. Again, I hadn't planned on it because but we were hoping, honestly, that when we say, what questions do we need to answer for you before we get you started tonight? We were hoping to say, I just don't think this is for me. That's the response we were hoping we would get. Now I say, Dale, why would you be hoping that? Because when we heard that, our response 100% of the time is, all right, now, let me just back up because this is paradigm shifting. So Joe's on the webinar. If Joe's not interested, he will not call. So like I said, if you have 7, 8, 2 are going to call you at the end of it. The other 6 you have to call, you have to follow up with. And when you follow up, you say, hey, Joe, this is Dale Calvert. Just wanted to check in with you, make sure you were able to get on the webinar last night. I had some people trying to call me and people trying to click in. but you didn't leave a message. Were you able to get on the webinar? Yeah, Dale, I was able to get on the webinar. Cool. Joe, what questions do I need to answer for you before we get you started? And he says, well, Dale, I'm just not interested. I don't think that's for me. He says something ignorant like, I'm just not a good salesperson. That's ignorance. That tells you right away that he doesn't understand what it's all about. It's not about sales. That's a small, minute part of it. It's about building teams and leadership. That's what it's really about. And I'm not saying this to Joe, but I would definitely be thinking it. And he said, I'm just not good at sales. And here's the response, guys. Now, as soon as he says that, 99% of the people are going to move into a convincing Joe mode. Well, Joe, it's not, they'll say what I was thinking, and it becomes confrontational sometimes, and it accomplishes nothing, because even if you win the confrontation, you lose, because Joe, he might join, but he's not going to do anything anyway, and it's not worth the time. So Joe's expecting, he's expecting the confrontation, and he says, it's not for me. I'm not a very good salesperson. Here's a response. Hey, Joe, no problem. But let me ask you a question. If you were going to do this business, who would be the first person that you would talk to? Now, I'm not going to get into the whole training sequence here tonight, but guys, let me just say this tonight. Whoever Joe tells you is 10 times a better prospect than Joe is. And honestly, that's the person that you really want to get your opportunity in front of. See, here's the thing, guys. Everybody that you ever talk to knows somebody that is extremely entrepreneur minded, who's a go-getter, who's, the timing is right in their life. They just had a conversation about their company's laying off and they're looking for something else. They're looking for a side gig or whatever. That's the people you really want to talk to. And again, I'll cover this in another webinar. We'll get into detail of this, because the leverage concept that can be created with this is unbelievable. I want to keep going. I'm getting off. Here's the red flag. And it's a warning, guys. It's a major warning. It's not about closing. And listen, I went through this. We all go through this. About my second year or so, I thought I'm just terrible at this. I don't understand this recruiting stuff, and I'm getting all these objections. So I said, I got to learn how to close people, and it's like I don't even know what closing means. And so I bought Zig Ziglar's Secret of Closing the Sale, which is an awesome book that should be read by everybody involved with any kind of people. I love Tom Hopkins, How to Master the Art of Selling, and I figured I'm going to start closing people. And you know what? Some of those techniques kind of work better, but it didn't take too long to figure out getting them. Listen, there was a time I sponsored 26 people in a row, but none of them did anything. All I accomplished was wasting my time and their time. So it's not about getting them in. It's not. It's about team building. It's not just getting them in. You got to keep them in and help them move forward. And you can't push a rope. You can't. It'll drive you crazy trying to, get people after they join. They think they act like it's the lottery ticket or something. Anybody who is teaching closing techniques to network marketers, it is just an indication that they really don't have a clear picture of what their real objective is yet. Now, I understand that I just offended some of you because last week you did a training with your team on how to close people. Okay, I get that. Okay, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm telling you, I have been there. I've done it. we all probably do it. I'm just saying you got to rethink this. You got to rethink it because it's not about closing. Now, what drives me crazy is people that um, uh, guru trainers that are teaching closing, not distributors that are building, that are trying to support and help their people. I get that totally. But if you're teaching other people as a quote unquote guru trainer, it's not that you aren't there yet. It's that you never were. So it's a major red flag, guys. And so if somebody starts talking about closing, uh, just take a breath, back up, and understand. Yeah, you can close people in your business, but if you want to close some people into buying a product package, then don't be involved in network marketing. Go if you want to learn how to close, go sell yachts or something where you can make big commissions. Not $72 on a quick start network marketing package, or even 172. Network marketing's about team building. 6, Eagle File. We've got 7 concepts. An Eagle File. What is an Eagle File? And how to use it the right way so you have qualified people contacting you ready to join you the rest of your network marketing career. When I really started to understand how to recruit and what the game was and how to value my time and understand I'm never going to run out of people to talk to, and I got my posture where it should be. Um, and again, it didn't happen overnight, but once I got there, I everybody that I exposed that heard the whole story, they either joined, I put them in my Eagle File, I put them in my general mailing list, or I scratched them off my list. I didn't want them and never did want them and wouldn't ever want them. And that's honestly, that's 70% of the population, honestly. And I'm not trying to be rude or crude, but I mean, I can't tell you how many Magic of Thinking big books I have given away to people. Okay, I don't want them on my team because I've been down that road. I know them, but it doesn't mean I don't want to help them. Or I spent my first 3 years trying to save everybody and go to people that needed it, and I realized there's a reason they need it, and I'm not going to be able to change 70% of the population. So I have to recognize those people real quick, give them a hug emotionally, give them a book, but don't try to build my team with them. So the other 3 categories, they joined, they went in my general mailing list, or they went in my Eagle File, or I scratched them. One of those 4. Now, Eagle Files are really awesome people that are willing to work, that are willing to take responsibility, that have paid the price in the past. And again, we talk about this again in a lot of other webinars about really what you're looking for. But the people that I know I would love to work with, they go in my Eagle File. Okay. Now, an Eagle File is basically a database. It would be email as well as postal mailing address. So we don't call Eagle File people and bug them to death every 2 weeks to join our deal, or every month, but we stay in contact with these people. We stay in contact because the timing in people's life will change, and we have to respect people, if they come through the process and they say, the timing's just not right, and it could be multiple reasons. Maybe, they're dealing with a sick parent right now, or it could be multiple things, and we have to respect where they are in their life. And just because they don't join you now doesn't mean they won't join you later. So, but the Eagles, you keep in contact with. And I love to do this when we were building, and our team, all of our people, did this a lot through the mail, through the postal mailing service. We used to send not Christmas cards, but Thanksgiving cards to our Eagle File people. How many Thanksgiving cards do people receive compared to Christmas cards? We would go on exotic incentive vacations every year with our companies, like many companies do. And when we got there, every person on our team that qualified for the trip, we all knew we were going to get there, we're going to get unpacked, we're going to then go to the gift shop. And before we leave for the trip, before we even pack our bathing suits, if we're going to Hawaii, the first thing we would do, myself, all of our leaders, is go to our Excel spreadsheet or wherever we had our Eagle File database and print address labels. Some of our people, brand new, they might have 50 people in their Eagle File. Some people might have 700. Doesn't matter. And when we got to the exotic vacation, we're going to the gift shop, we're buying postcards. And every person in our Eagle Files getting a postcard from us in Hawaii. And it with a personal note. Now, we wouldn't use the address labels, we would handwrite them. And we would say, and look, I tell people, look, it's going to take a couple hours once you get there, and then you've done your job. You can relax, enjoy the next 7 days or whatever. But we got to do this. And people get a postcard from Hawaii, say, hey, we're over here with 63 of our team members having a great time. Hope things are going great. Hope it's not too cold in Chicago. Something like that. So you stay in contact with these people. And then let's say you're going to be in Chicago, your company's having a big regional event. Then I would go into my database. I would look, how many people do I have in the Chicago area? And I would maybe call every one of them and say, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago. I'd love to have a cup of coffee with you. Can we just chat? Eagle File, guys. That's how you develop long-term, real relationships with people that you honestly want to work with. Okay. Number 7. This is going to be worth whatever you paid to be on this. Oh, it was free. What I'm going to share with you next, man, oh man, I really, this is like, this is going to make a difference for some of you, especially those people that are already full time, and you just want to really maximize your lead generation, and you want to get in front of the right people. Who's the perfect prospect for your business? Why and how to find them? Now, the perfect prospect, I learned this from the great Art Williams of A.L. Williams through audio years ago. Never forgot it. I was never involved in A.L. Williams, but again, I've tried to be a student my entire life and learn as much valuable information as I possibly can from people that actually know what they're talking about. Art Williams was one of those. Art said, your best prospect is 25 to 35 years old, married, own their own home, have a family, make $40,000 to $100,000 a year. That's what Art said. Does that mean baby boomers aren't great prospects for our industry? Absolutely, it does not mean that. Does that mean if somebody is 19 years old that they're a terrible prospect? No. Does that mean if somebody is 41 years old and career frustrated in corporate America? No. He said this is your ideal prospect, and I can tell you after over 30 years in this industry, uh, I would agree with him. Okay, I didn't know that I would agree with him. I thought it made sense when I first heard him say it, but I really believe today this is your primary prospect. And here's the thing he said. I love this. This is what I'll never forget. He said, they haven't made it yet, but they want to real bad. So you're looking for people, your ideal prospect are these people right here, 25, 35, married, own a home, have a family, 40,000, 100,000 a year. Now, there's a lot of people that fit this criteria, but you're looking for the ones that in any age group, any demographic, really what you're looking for is people that haven't made it yet but want to real bad. Now, what I'm getting ready to share with you, I have used when we were building, our teams have used it. Again, this is kind of an advanced strategy that I would not share with new people. There's some things that new people don't need to do, not because there's some secret method, because some strategies you need to have developed some skill sets and mindsets, or you're going to waste your time and the people are going to eat your lunch. That's reality. So if you're, and again, it goes back to a lot of what we've talked about already as far as posture. Okay, now, wherever you are listening to me tonight, and I assume this is because I know we have people from other countries with us tonight as well, and as a lot of people from other countries, and honestly, I assume that what I'm getting ready to share with you would be the same in other countries, but it may not be. But there's probably something similar if you're in the Philippines, Australia, Canada, wherever you are. And even if you are in another country, you're probably still trying to expand, possibly, if you into the U.S. if your company is open in the U.S. But if you're in the U.S., I know this works, and again, I've used this for years. I checked on this week just to make sure. So where are you in the United States? And let's just pick let's pick I don't know why this popped in. I'm just thinking of an obscure. We had a young man that was from DeRidder, Louisiana. Some of you might know where DeRidder, Louisiana is. Or let's say Baton Rouge, okay? Because let's say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let's say that you, in whatever city you're in, or the closest metropolitan area, or even the city that you're in. Now, I did this last night, and let's, instead of using Baton Rouge, we'll use Georgetown, Kentucky, where our office is located. That's where we have our office and warehouse for network marketing support services and our other businesses. So we'll use Georgetown, Kentucky. And what I did is I went to a website and I said, I'm looking for people that are between 25 and 35 years old, that are married, that own their own home, that have a family, that means at least one child, and they're making the criteria they gave me on this website was I could go like 99,000, and then the next criteria was like 100 to something. And I said, in my search, I said 99,000, between 40,000 and 99,000 is what I said as I went to this website. Now, I'm going to show you the results, and I'm going to share with you where you can get this data. It does cost. It's not free. I don't know what it costs today. I know what it used to cost. And when I share with you this, understand Georgetown, Kentucky is, you wouldn't think it, but it is, it's the Scott County where Georgetown is the fastest growing county in the entire state of Kentucky. It's booming, it's growing because Toyota manufacturing, that's where the Toyota Camry is made. So it took that little town and just, it has grown unbelievably since Toyota came, and now they're opening a Lexus plant there. So the average income per household and all that is much larger than the norm. But in within 40-mile radius of Georgetown, Kentucky, with the criteria I just told you, uh, married, own a home, have a family, making 40,000, 99,000 a year. Look, guys, there was 40,903 people in their database that met that criteria. Now, honestly, that was shocking to me because I used to do this uh, years ago, and there would be around 10,000. So that's how much the area has grown since since I was building. But here's the thing: imagine if you could identify, if this is true, if this is true right here, imagine if you could identify the people within a 30, 40-mile radius of your backyard who meet this criteria, and then have the opportunity to find out from this who meet this criteria. They haven't made it yet, but they want to real bad. See, a lot of these people think they've made it. They got a great job probably in their minds, but some of them are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're sick and tired of the corporate environment. They want to have their own program. They want to have their own business. These are awesome prospects. Say, well, Dale, how much? It used to be like 14 cents, 12 cents a record. Okay. And again, they don't show it now, but here's the website, infousa.com. Dale, what do I send them? Well, you can go postcard route, you can go direct mail letter. There's all kinds of ways. And again, this is not for beginning people, but if you're full time and you want to really target in on great prospects, you can do, and you can do that and pull the data directly online, and then say, I went last night, did this, and then they want you to call for pricing. Okay, they used to show you the price and they let you order online, but you can get it on mailing labels. You can get it, right here it says mailing label lists and CD-ROMs. Okay, that's how you can get this data. And guys, this is just like, I'm getting, it makes me almost want to build a team again when I share this kind of stuff. It's just like fishing in a barrel. Okay, bonus tonight. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Holiday recruiting system. A lot of you are going to be around friends, family over the next couple months. And there's so much anxiety, especially if you're new in the business, you're new in the industry, you just got started with XYZ company, you're going to Thanksgiving dinner, and how many people just go to Thanksgiving dinner and they can't shut up about their herbs or their juice or whatever. Uh, and again, it's a mistake everybody makes. It's very common. I want to try to help you not make that mistake this year. Okay. And this would be something that you leaders share this with your team. This bonus holiday recruiting. All the friends and family members, if you want to share, I recommend sharing the product first with these people, because ultimately I believe in a concept called retail to recruit. I believe you get, and again, we believe in straight straight up recruiting as well, but I believe retail to recruit is, I believe you have to have a system to retail to recruit, and you have to have a system to go after these prime prospects, like I was sharing with you earlier, our business minded prospects. But if you're talking about family in general, I think it's good to go with the product first. And individually, when you get a chance, just ask somebody, hey, Aunt Mary, can you do me a favor? And what is Aunt Mary going to say? She's going to say, sure, Dale, how can I help you? That's going to be the common response with a family member. If you start trying to pitch your product, they're going to be backing up and like you're a vampire. So just say, hey, Mary, could you help me? I need a favor. They're going to say, sure. And you say, and you have a supply of your company's brochures. And you say, here's a brochure on a new product we're marketing. And then you give a short testimony. I've been, say it's a weight loss. I've been taking it a month. I've lost 9 pounds, or whatever your personal testimony or testimony of one of your customers, or if you have a testimony, let's say you're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for your family's Thanksgiving, and you say, I know there's somebody in Baton Rouge down here who's lost 37 pounds, whatever. Quick testimony. Can you do me a favor, pass this brochure along to somebody who like wants to lose weight, if that's your product, if it's a health related product that's health conscious, concerned about identity theft. I know we have several, we have different people from different companies, so whatever applies to you here. And then shut up and don't say another word. And they'll say, sure, I'll be happy to do that for you. If they're personally interested in the product, they will ask you. They will ask you, and you can generate a conversation. If they say, yeah, I'll pass it, they will never say, no, I'm going to take this home and throw it away. They will say, sure, I'll do that for you. And then all you have to do is a week later is call, hey, Aunt Mary, this is Dale. I just wanted to follow up with you and see, who did you give my brochure to? And again, guys, I have all that scripted. Many of you have already heard it, so I'm not going to go through that all in sake of time tonight. The basic concept is this is how to get information in your relatives' hands over the holidays. And some of you are thinking, yeah, Dale, with my Uncle Jimmy, if I could get Uncle Jimmy in the business, he would be awesome. How do I talk to my Uncle Jimmy about this business? Here's what you do. The sharpest, most business-minded relative you have, you say, hey, Uncle Jimmy, could you do me a favor? And again, same, sure, what can I do for you? We're involved in a new business, and we really want to expand into Baton Rouge, if that's where Uncle Jimmy's from, wherever Uncle Jimmy's from, Columbus, Ohio, wherever he is. We really want to expand into the Baton Rouge area, and we're looking for somebody with leadership and management ability. Could you, whatever your play one is, could you watch a short online video? Could you listen to my CD? Could you watch this DVD? Whatever your play one is. So we'll say, could you watch a short online video and tell me who you know in Baton Rouge that I should contact? Could you do that for me? And Uncle Jimmy's going to say, yeah, I'll do that. And you hand them you pull out a blank piece of paper and you write on it, watch video for Dale, and write the website address and hand it to them. And then you follow up. Did you have the opportunity to watch the video? Who did you think about that I should contact in Baton Rouge? It's real simple, guys. It's real easy. It's a normal conversation. It's nothing weird. It's how you would communicate with relatives normally before we get involved in network marketing. And it's like our brain just scatters sometimes. So that's the bonus recruiting on holidays. I'm going to wrap this up. I do want to share a couple things with you real quick. I don't have any major pitch or anything tonight, but if you like these type of concepts, if this stuff makes sense for you, then I wanted to mention this. And I know a lot of you have already owned both of these products, but we have a double CD set. It's called MLM Mindsets. I get awesome testimonies on this from people. They love it. I actually got one today in my email honestly, I didn't have time to put it in here, but she said she had driven 8 hours this afternoon, and she listened to this MLM Mindsets 4 times on her 8 hour trip this afternoon. I got an email that before earlier tonight about this. It's good stuff, and we don't even sell it on our office or on our website right now. We never have. It's always been sold through Amazon, and you can go on Amazon. You can see it's $22. And then the one CD that I recommend all network marketers listen to, and not only listen to, but memorize, is Building Your Network Marketing Business with Jim Rohn. That's on Amazon too, $6.99. I'm not even sure who sells it on Amazon. I always like to give you some kind of little special bonus or whatever for being with me. So here's the URL, write it down, and here's what we're doing. That will take you directly to an order page where you basically can purchase this CD, not on Amazon. I set this up through our office, and as a bonus, we also carry this because we believe in it. Anybody that purchases this, we're going to send you the Jim Rohn CD free just for being with us tonight and supporting our webinar, because we appreciate it, guys. And I know that a lot of you, I don't send many emails, so they already have both of those. Here's what I would tell you. It's a great Christmas gift for your top people on your team. If you already own it, you know that. So that's the only way you can get it, is through that URL. If you go to mlmhelp.com, you will not find it. tinyurl.com/webinar 1119. So I want to share that with you real quick. Again, I want to thank you guys for your support. You can find us at the MLM Minute on Twitter. Facebook page is facebook.com/Dale Calvert page. We are also on Periscope at the MLM Minute. I do want to thank you guys. I just pulled Neil off here. A lot of you guys are really promoting our webinars that we do on Thursdays to like, I pulled this from Neil. He put this on his Facebook page this week, and I just wanted to say publicly, Neil, you're with us every week. I appreciate it. I appreciate your kind words I get through your email, and I really appreciate you helping me spread the word like this through Facebook, and many others as well do the same thing every week. And I just want to tell you guys, thank you. I appreciate you. If you have not, if you're a podcast listener, we have 3 different podcasts available. You can go, that's the wrong URL up there. It's not dalecalvert.com/podcast. It's mlmhelp.com/podcast. mlmhelp.com/podcast. If you want to learn more about those, I know most of you are a member, except for the first time people, you're a member of our training club. Honestly, that's going to be our focus in 2016, and I'm not sure at what level. I don't know whether I'm going to make the webinars private. I'm just still thinking everything, but everything's going to be around the training club. So those of you that are members, again, I appreciate that. It's not just a CD of the month, but there's a website that we're constantly adding new content to, and we're going to really take it to a different level next year. The content kind of supports the monthly CD, but you can find out more about that if you want him on Training Club. Lastly, I love this. Successful entrepreneurs have a unique mix of ambition and thankfulness. And I just want to say to you guys, especially those, man, some of you are here every single week. And we're going to get to a point where we're going to run out of seats. And when we run out of seats, where we aren't going to be able to get everybody on Thursday night webinars. And when that happens, I just want you guys to know that have supported this from day one. I'm going to do something to make sure that you get the opportunity to get your seat before I let anybody else know, or something, because I see it. I see you here. I see you promoting it to your teams and on Facebook and on Twitter, and I appreciate it. And I'm not just saying that to say it, because some of you know the big story here, and I'm not going to get into it tonight. But, you know, at this point in my life, it's about me justifying my time, just like it is for you. So I just want you to know from my heart, I hope you and yours have an awesome Thanksgiving. I mean, enjoy it. Enjoy your family. Give somebody an extra hug. Jim Rohn said, wherever you are, be there. Wherever you are, be there. And I hope you just take it all in over Thanksgiving. Have an awesome, awesome break. And again, I appreciate you guys being with us. We will not be here obviously next Thursday because it is Thanksgiving. Um, I have a couple things that I'm really anxious to share with you, and I don't know I don't know yet when I'm going to do that. Probably be a week from Thanksgiving. Uh, as many of you know, we travel kind of back and forth between Georgia and Kentucky, and we you know I'm trying. I want to really cut down my overall travel schedule this year, and uh, so I promised you guys when we started we would do these every Thursday night until basketball season. But and again, I don't know if UK is going to play on Thursdays this year or not. I hope you guys say they beat Duke Tuesday night. It was phenomenal. Oh, that was great. So, but I do want to try to continue doing these, but I have obligations with different organizations slash companies. So, but we're gonna do what we can. Um, and again, I appreciate your support. Don't expect to hear. Don't expect us to have a webinar next week. That possibly could change, but it probably won't. I need to use that time to not for other things if I can. But we will definitely be back after Thanksgiving holiday. You guys have an awesome, awesome evening. I appreciate you. Thanks for being with us, you first time guests. Those of you that aren't a member of the training club, check that out. Be a great investment in your business. If you are a training club member, I appreciate you. It's going to get better and better. I promise you that. Thanks. We had a great crowd tonight. Appreciate all you that shared it with your teams. And thanks for being with us. Have an awesome, awesome holiday. God bless. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Good night.